Okay, I propose we go ahead and get started. As I said just a few moments ago, this session should not take up the whole 60 minutes assigned to it, but we'll see how it goes. My colleague Andrew is going to be monitoring the chat. If you have any questions, please, for those of you who are on Zoom, that is, please feel free to post them in the chat. I'll be addressing them in real time as time allows. Welcome to the second workshop on generative AI in this Summer of AI, a joint enterprise between the Center for Innovation in Teaching and Learning, the University Library, the NCSA, and Tech Services. On the last slide, I will post a link to the calendar of events. The Summer of AI is a sequence of workshops, panel discussions, guest lectures, individual consultations, anything generative AI related. I hope you will avail yourselves of other events on the calendar. It promises to be a truly remarkable 2 months over the course of June and July. We'll be offering events every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. At least one per day. Sometimes there are multiple two events happening on one single day. So that's what we've got set up for you over the course of this summer. Today's session focuses on this is an introductory workshop to generative AI in visual media. I will focus mostly on Adobe Firefly, which is an official University of Illinois tool, just like Microsoft Copilot is. I talked about that in my workshop yesterday for those of you who attended it. I will tie in some of the data from yesterday, some of the techniques that I showed you yesterday into today's session, although it's not those of you who did not attend yesterday's session, you will not be behind and you will not have missed anything. So this is my proposed agenda for today. We'll talk about the basics of prompt engineering. For those of you who attended yesterday's session, I owe you the definition of nested prompting, and I'll talk about that in just a second, but it also it is also appropriate to this specific workshop. This also is a leftover from yesterday. I'll show you the ways of to cite generative AI sources in any academic work. I do have some resources for you to share with you about that, and then we'll just create images. I'll show you how to edit those images, add certain features to it. I'll show you how to construct an infographic, and of course, those of you who were with me yesterday, privacy and security once again will be one of the topics, one of the things that I will be reminding you of. And hopefully there will be time at the end to field some questions. Okay, so by the way, I'll jump back to the previous slide in just a moment. Every image you'll see in my PowerPoint presentation today was generated with Adobe Firefly. So this book with a lock on top of it was generated with Adobe Firefly. So was this image. And by the way, the prompt for this image was a bee in a meadow at sunset. Sorry, a firefly. I gave away my joke. Firefly in a meadow at sunset. And as you can tell, the way that generative AI tool interpreted it was it gave me a bee instead of a firefly. So once again, speaking to what we talked about yesterday, hallucinations are still, real, and generative AI is not error-free. So every once and again, you ask for one thing and it gives you something else, and you gotta rephrase your prompts, resubmit your request, and so on and so forth. Okay, I'll jump back to the slide in just a moment. This is what we're going to be doing in the first part of this workshop, meaning we'll create an image, we'll iterate on it, and we'll do some edits. I'm looking across the roof, the physical space, and everyone has their device out. Yes, this is the workshop. So I'd like you to mimic what I'm doing. And after that, I'll give you some time to generate your own things. And so without any further ado, I'd like you all to migrate to this web address, firefly.adobe.com. Do not sign in yet. I would like to show you a couple of features that don't require you to sign in. We will sign in together in a few moments. But before, let's just all go to this web address, firefly.adobe.com. I'll see you there in a few seconds. It's signed in. Okay, thank you for saying that. So for some of you, you may already be signed in. If a different University of Illinois app is if you had to if your say your email Outlook is up, Adobe Firefly will automatically sign you in. For those of you who aren't signed in, don't sign in quite yet. Um, if you're in the Adobe Firefly interface, I'd like you all to click on this function, the gallery function at the top of the list. And what this is, and this is one of the things that I really enjoy about Adobe Firefly. Although, before I go into that, I'd like to introduce Adobe Firefly as another one of these tools, and Microsoft Copilot, which we workshopped yesterday, is another one of these tools. This is an official University of Illinois generative AI tool, meaning we as a university have an agreement, in this case with Adobe, and it is offered to us, just as Microsoft Copilot is, for free, and our data is privacy and security protected, as much as that is possible. So there are other image and video generating tools out there on the market, but this one's the only one that is available to us for free. It is really quite robust, really quite powerful, and you have that additional layer of privacy and security protection, which means your input, your prompt, and your output, your image, will not be, according to the agreement with Adobe, will not be used to train their AI model. And Adobe products are available to all of us, for those of you who are not aware of it, not just Adobe Firefly, but that encompasses Photoshop, Audition, um, Premiere Pro, After Effects. All kinds of Adobe tools are available to all of us University of Illinois affiliates for free through Web Store. If you're not familiar with it, and if you're not aware of that fact, you have already the university has purchased all of those tools, that suite of tools from Adobe, and we are all entitled to them. Okay, and Adobe Firefly is a web-based image and video generating AI agent. So the reason I wanted to show you Gallery is this is a collection of outputs that were generated by other users. And they allow you to, you can click on, well, I'm going to choose this one very randomly, the one with the robot. What it does is, when you click on it, it shows you, you can take a look and analyze not only the prompt, but the various effects and filters that this specific user used to generate this specific image. And this I find to be quite useful and quite powerful. It allows you and myself to study and to learn along with the previous potentially more experienced Gen AI users than I am. So there's a bunch of these. You can just peruse the gallery and see what other people have created. That includes videos, which unfortunately, and I'll explain why, I won't be able to showcase today, but I will still give you a head start on that. So you can pick and choose a couple of these. I'll give you a minute to do so and to see to study the prompts that other people have used to generate these specific images. I'll be with you in, let's say, 45 seconds. I've also provided the links in chat to students and faculty staff. Fantastic. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew just informed me that he provided the link to the web store, our U of I App Store, for how to download Adobe tools. Okay, so let's sign in together. For those of you who are not signed in yet, you click on the sign in icon in the top right-hand corner. And instead of choosing the top three options, if you can, I encourage you to sign in with email, which is the very last option down here. And you sign in with your University of Illinois email address. Let's go back to home, the home screen. And the first thing I will say is that when you click on the account icon up here in the very same top right-hand corner, it'll show you the amount of credits you've got left. All of us are awarded 1,000 credits per month, which is a really generous amount. That means that you can, when it comes to images anyway, you can generate 4,000 images. You can use 1,000 prompts. Each prompt results in 4 separate images for that specific prompt, resulting in 4,000 images per month that all of us are able to create for free of charge before fees are being or charges are being accrued. Okay, so without any further ado, I'm going to choose a prompt, and I'd like you to copy it verbatim. And there's a method behind my madness. And after that, we'll do some editing, and then I'll give you some time to experiment on your own. Let's say a fairy in a forest, comma, flowers, mushrooms, sunset, um, deer, foxes, overhead shot. And let's hit generate. All right. So for those of you who are watching my screen and comparing my screen with yours, your output should be different from mine. That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's the nature of generative AI. Every one of us, if we were to compare, and there's, nearly 50 of us together in this workshop, every one of us will have a slightly different output. That's just the nature of generative AI. You shouldn't be seeing what, yeah, I mean, your output should be roughly what I have. Okay, you should still have some mushrooms and the fairy and the fox and flowers and whatnot, but the details should be slightly different. Okay. You have more deer. Okay, someone has more deer. Okay.
I like the far left one, the fox with the mushroom head.
There's a fox with, oh, down here. Okay, very good. I'll expand the, good catch. We have a fox with a mushroom head up here. Another one of these examples of hallucinations, generative AI hallucinations. Okay. So, and that segues very well into something that I was going to say, mention about this specific tool is that it is good. What I found, what I get the most use out of with this specific tool is for, number one, creating PowerPoint images for my PowerPoint presentations, classroom visual aids, okay, storytelling, visual storytelling. If I'm not too concerned with being literal, if I'm okay with my fox having a mushroom head, if I'm only concerned with, getting the point across and augmenting my instruction with some visuals, this is a very, very useful tool for that. If I'm interested in being honest to goodness, real, live, truthful, foxes having real heads, things of that nature, I would not go for, I wouldn't use this specific tool for that. However, it is very good for creating extra visuals on the fly for anything, really. And I've used it in presentations in classrooms. Um, I'm an avid photographer, so I do use my own photographs too for presentations. But if you're in crunch time, if you want to be creative, so this tool is also very useful for expanding your creativity palette. I think some ideas you can for instance, I don't know if you're an engineering student, and I've seen some of my students do it, some of our undergraduate assistants in the innovation studio. Um, she's an industrial design. I've seen her create really interesting prototypes for an ergonomic child seat, for instance, car seat. Um, for generating, so as I said again, if you're not concerned with the physics, if you're not concerned with if you're only concerned about the aesthetics of a chair, some of those things were really quite wonderful, okay? If you want to, if you're an architecture student and want to generate an image of a building, if you're not too concerned whether or not it is physically feasible, okay? This tool is quite useful for, just getting you started on what a building could look like, or what an ergonomic chair could look like, or what a fairy forest could look like, so for for generating ideas, this is a really useful tool. If you really want to create a building that will withstand the physics and earthquakes and wind pressures and everything else, I don't think you should trust what generative AI will give you. Okay, but that's the nature of these things. Okay. So we've got this image, and as I said, each prompt by default generates 4 images for you, and I've got all of these 4. Now notice I'm going to show you a couple of things in the left margin. So the default is the Firefly image 4 model. There's a couple other ones to choose from. We'll stick with this one. Okay. The default aspect ratio is the landscape 4/3. I propose that for our next generation, we switch it to the widescreen 16/9. I don't understand why they chose the 4:3 one as the default one, seeing how if we're creating anything for a web page, the 16/9 is the standard one. Okay, this slider down here for visual intensity, what this one does is it basically the more. If you slide it over to the very right, that's going to give you even more detail and more intensity and more complexity in your output. But it also will be a little more power hungry. Up here under content type, and once again, the default is art. If you switch it over to photo, and let's do that, we'll compare the results. We'll use the same prompt, but let's hang on to it for just a moment. We'll reuse our prompt to generate 4 more images, but this time they will be photographs instead of drawings. Okay. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is this effects box, and let's switch from popular to all. And that expands the window to include a whole lot of different filters and references. Okay, so for this one, we'll choose a couple together. Okay, so from the movements, let's go with the top one, Art Deco. For themes, let's choose anime. No, not anime, since we're working with photo. Cinematic. Technique. Okay, light paint, oil paint. Why not? Effects. We are going to do neon. Materials. How about metal? Made of metal. And a futuristic concept. We have a couple other options under color and tone, under lighting, Let's choose a golden hour for that one. And for camera angle, we'll do landscape photography, okay? And notice all of these filters appear once you select one of them, it appears under your prompt. All right, let's hit generate and let's see what happens. All right, so it's much more fantastical. We don't have to compare results, but I don't see a fairy in any of my results. I see a fantastical forest, strange mushrooms, some deer, maybe a fox here and there, but no fairy. Did anyone get a fairy in their output? Some people who are in the room are nodding yes. So
I got some fox with wings.
we have a fox with wings. Well, proves my point. Okay. It isn't always accurate. It isn't always if you're after accuracy, if you're after, being believable, not the best. At the same time though, these images on their own are pretty creative, pretty unique. Okay. All right. So I will have you choose one of the four that you generated. Doesn't matter what, because I want to show you what you can do to edit your image. So click on it, expanded, okay. In the top left corner of your image, you should see the edit menu. And the one function I want you to choose is the generative fill one. Okay, if you're there, you'll see over in the left margin a couple of different options: insert, remove, expand, and pan. Let's start with the insert one, okay? So notice that I can, and you should be able to do the same thing. With that cross, I want you to blot out a certain element within your picture, just like I'm doing. Okay, doesn't matter how big, it should be pretty sizable. And down here in the prompt field, let's stick something in place. So I erased one of these giant mushrooms. I'm going to replace it with, let's say, a skyscraper. So that's what I'm going to type in, and then I'm going to hit generate. Didn't get it. So I'm going to cancel, and I'm going to maybe make this spot a little bit bigger. Then I'm going to try again. I hope some of you at least were successful in getting a skyscraper in place of some other thing. Well, it still failed for me. All right. So let's switch. I'm going to replace the skyscraper with, how about an elephant? Let's see if it obeys that command. There, I got an elephant. So I like this elephant. I'm going to hit keep. Now my image, instead of having however many mushrooms, now there's an elephant in my enchanted forest. Okay. So this is how you edit, one of the ways to edit an image. Say you're 95% satisfied with it. There's an element in it that you'd like to remove and replace with something else. This is a very useful way of doing, an efficient way of doing that, okay? Now let's choose, let's switch from the insert mode to the remove mode. over in the left-hand margin. And let's say I don't like these little deer here. So I'm going to highlight the deer. I don't like them. They're too small. I'm not satisfied with how they look. And I'm going to hit remove. Okay. So I have multiple options. I like this one. Now the roots of the one tree and some flowers have been put in place of those little deer. Okay, so that's another way of editing your image that you are largely satisfied with. Okay, and the third function, the expand function, let's go over what that does. Now you see, once you hit it, you see this grid over your picture, and that allows you to expand the frame of your output, like so. You can just grab the frame and expand it in any direction. I'm not going to type in any prompt. I'm just going to hit generate. And I want you to see what happens. Okay, so it effectively expanded my picture. So in all the directions that I selected it made the frame and the forest bigger, and the sky and the leaves and everything else. Everyone with me so far? Okay, so before we go on, I'm going to hit keep. Okay, now I've got a larger frame. I'm pretty satisfied with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to download my image because I don't want to lose it. It's in the downloads now. We'll go over what this does, the share function, in just a moment. Okay. In the meantime, we're going to take a short break, but don't go away. This is a special request for those of you who are on Zoom. If you'd like to, the images you downloaded, if you'd like to share your artwork with the rest of the group, please post your images in the chat if you would. Okay, I'd like us all. For those of you who are in the room, sorry that for those of you who are not on Zoom, sorry about that. But this is my way of breaking the ice a little bit and to prove to each other that generative AI is not that scary, and that it's capable of making pretty interesting things. And it's also going to be useful for all of you to see that, your images are going to be, each output is going to be different from the previous one. So we'll take a moment to share some, you're not required to do so, but it'd be useful if you did that. And so if you're not shy about sharing what you created, please post that in the chat. Let me see, how many do we have? It says transfer of PNG files is, oh, never mind. So try again, Isaiah. Transfer of PNG files is restricted. And thank you for being such a good sport, Isaiah. I look forward to seeing what you created. Well, it seems that a lot of you are shy about sharing your work, which is quite all right. Oh, nice. Perfect. All right, that's great, Gopesh. Nice job. Still can't upload, Michaela. Sorry about that. Oh well, my ice-breaking activity is failing. Let me upload a file directly from my computer. From Mary. Ooh. Oh, well. So let's scratch that. Okay, sorry about that. Too bad we won't be sharing, but I'll take this moment, this opportunity to see if there are any questions about what we've done so far. Okay, if there aren't, let's move on to the second part of our workshop. Well, we're going to stick with your creations here, okay? And what I'm going to ask that you do is, up here where you see the share function, from the pull-down menu, you'll see that you've got a couple of different options, especially down here under the Create a Design heading. You can add text, you can add shapes and graphics, and you can create social post. We're going to focus on the Add Text one, so please click on that. A different tool, Adobe Express, should open on your screens. You don't have access to Adobe Express. That is so strange. If you're logged into Adobe Firefly, it should automatically redirect you to. I have not seen that problem, and I don't understand why that's happening. Ha! Huh. What? Yeah. That is so bizarre. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, if you can log into Adobe Firefly, you should be automatically redirected to sorry about that, to Express with no hassle. Sorry about that, folks, but for those of you who are able to workshop alongside me, just I don't know, you can make up your own text. I'm going to say, for me, I'm just pulling things out of my hat. You are awesome! Exclamation point. You don't have to use that. You'll notice that it's not too visible for me. So I'm going to select all of the text. And, this is like using a regular Word, like Microsoft Word. I'm going to switch from black to a more visible color. How about this one? Orange or maybe even yellow. Yeah, that's better. I can create a border, an outline around the letters. Let's use, once again, under more colors, let's use a purple outline. I can make the outline bigger, thicker. Perfect. I can increase the font. That's okay. I can grab and drag this frame around my canvas. How about it sticks here? Okay. Once you're satisfied, once you have your phrase, and once it's located, and once you're happy with the color and it's within your picture, and I'll give you a few more seconds to do that. Okay, hopefully all of you are with me. So up here where you see this frame, the text function, under it you see 3 different menus: Edit, Effects, and Animation. Please select the animation one. And down here you will see a number of different options. From the Move menu, why don't you You can choose anyone, any of them you want. For mine, I'm going to choose the spin one. And if you hover over it, it gives you a preview for how the text is going to be animated. So I'm going to spin it. Down here in this window, I'm going to shrink the "You are awesome" bar so that that text comes in to my picture at the 3-second mark. You can preview what it looks like by pressing the play icon down here. And go back to the beginning. Now it jumps in, you know, at the 3-second mark. This creates a 5-second animation, and my text enters the picture at the 3-second mark. You can have it start at any point. You can expand or contract the length of the animation. Quick and easy way to animate your pictures, your generatively created pictures. Yes, question online.
And pick from my collection and add some effects to it, or does it only work with its own created images?
So, excellent question. Can you add elements? Yes, and if you go back to Adobe Firefly, your original creation, once again, if you see that share function, as you can tell, under create a design, in addition to adding text, you can add shapes and graphics and photos. You can also see that in Adobe Express, you can upload extra images, you can add media, add photos, videos, or music. I'm only showing you the very basic functions of Adobe Express. But yes, there are a lot of different things you can do. A lot of different ways you can beautify beautify your creation. Okay. You can add charts, you can organize data, you can do all kinds of really interesting and even crazy, I would say crazy things within Adobe Express. So if you're satisfied, I would always recommend that you download your creation and it be downloaded as an MP4 because it is an animation now. It's not a JPEG. It's not a PNG. It's an MP4 now. So Adobe Express, in a nutshell, is an all-in-one graphic, composition, video, and motion editor. All right. I know I'm covering a lot of ground, and I'm only focusing on the basics, but I hope you folks are able to, bear with me, and hopefully this session is useful to you, and you are already thinking about how you can use Adobe Express and Adobe Firefly in your own classrooms. So let me briefly revisit our slides. We created images, we iterated, we made edits. We took a break, although we didn't do the Kahoot. Now we added text and animation.
We had another question.
Yes, please, another question.
Can you add the university logo?
You can add anything you want. Honestly, you can just grab and slide it into your creation. Yes, you can certainly embed a photo or an image of the university logo on top of your other image. Okay. So another tool I'd like to showcase to you, and we won't be workshopping it because you need to create an account for it, a separate account, but it is a free tool. It's called Napkin AI. So please, if you wouldn't mind just stopping what you're doing and pay attention to look at my screen. Okay, so the tool is called Napkin and I, accessible at napkin.ai. We have an account, the Innovation Studio folks. We created a group account for it. And what I did was I simply logged in and I started by saying plus new napkin, create a new napkin. And this is the window you'll see when you choose to create a new napkin. And I don't have to assign it a title, but I will call it CITL AI tools from the Innovation Studio. And then I'm going to grab a piece of text which I created yesterday in the workshop. And it is a collection, whoops, didn't mean to do that. It is a list of all generative AI agents that we have available in the Innovation Studio. I'm going to grab that text, put it in here. I'm going to select all of it, and then I'm going to click on this lightning bolt in the margin, and I'm going to show you what happens. And it's really truly magical. All right, so that text is analyzed and an infographic or a bunch of infographics are created based on the text that I fed into the tool. And there is one that I'm especially fond of. Oh, there was, no, where did it go? Here, this one. Boom. This is a visual representation of that specific text. It was a list of tools, AI tools from the Innovation Studio, and now it is grouped into various categories in a really nice looking infographic. And by the way, there are ways to so there are you can edit your infographic in even more ways. I don't have time to show you any of these features, but you do not have to live with this specific. You can still do more editing to this specific output.
So this is not part of the university.
This is not a part of the university, but this tool is so unique in my opinion and so useful that I wanted to show it to you. And since this workshop is on generating AI images or AI in visual media, I thought it might be useful. And especially since this tool is free, okay? You do not have to pay for it. It's called, and I'll go back to the slides, napkin.ai. Okay. Very nice. Okay, two more things I wanted to show you. Video AI, there is a function in Adobe Firefly. If I go back to the main page, in addition to creating images, you can create videos. However, you cannot do it. We who have our accounts end with an .edu extension. Okay, for whatever reason, Adobe decided that that they're not going to make it available, at least for now, to university folks. However, there are a couple of other tools, video creating tools. Veo, this is an Google tool. Kling AI, Luma Labs, and a few other ones are available. They are pricey though. There are some of them, the most basic features are available for free, but they are really quite pricey. And at the moment, they can only generate 5 to 10 seconds video clips. You cannot make a long, a feature film. You cannot create longer scenes. 5 to 10 second video clips is what these tools are capable of making. And hallucinations are not uncommon. One of the most prominent, one of the most popular errors with these video generating tools is human hands. It's not at the moment. It's not very. You're nodding, so you see what you know what I'm talking about. Yep. Human limbs, human faces sometimes get distorted. The way people and animals walk. I won't show it to you, but I recently created a video of a bunny. which wasn't happening. It was running like a dog. And so there are, these things are not uncommon. But these tools are already available to you anyway. Okay. The next thing I wanted to show you, which I promised my audience yesterday, is, and you'll see this on the last slide. This is from MLA.org. How do I cite generative AI in MLA style? And it gives you the template and examples for how to properly quote and cite AI creations, including images, text, secondary sources, and so on. This web address, this tool will be on the very last slide you'll see before the end of this session. So this is something I owed you from yesterday. A number of you asked about this, and you're welcome to put it in your class syllabi if you want your students to really, be truthful about to properly cite their sources. Okay. Now, same request that I had yesterday, and I'll post it in the chat. Can you please, we have 9 minutes. This will take you 3 to 4 minutes. Please, please, fill out this survey. It is really, really useful to us to gather the data about, the effectiveness of the workshops as well as the presenters. I learned a lot from the feedback that you provided me with. So please, please take a few moments and fill out the survey. From the drop-down menu, you'll need to select the proper workshop. It's the one that's for June 4th, Introduction to, let's see, it is called Intro to Adobe Firefly. So that's the one for which you will be supplying your feedback. And while you're doing that, I'm going to open the very last slide. And it'll be up on the screen. Uh-oh. There. Okay. And what you'll see on the screen is the web address for the calendar of events, other Summer of AI events. And as I said, they are numerous. We have events happening every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, sometimes more than one. Here and on Zoom throughout the months of June and July. There is a Generative AI Solutions Hub, a university-wide resource available for you if you have any additional questions about or concerns with generative AI. That's genai.illinois.edu. There are a couple of groups, teams you can join for free and exchange ideas, questions, concerns, or joys about generative AI. One of them is generative AI in education, and there's one called generative AI in research. They're both really, really popular. People do post, contribute to them on a regular basis. Here's my email address if you have any additional questions. And this is the web address for that page I showed you about how to properly cite generative AI sources. Okay. Yes, please. One more question. Can we talk about nested prompts? Yes. Again, I don't think okay, very good. I did not show it to you. You're right. Thank you. So a nested prompt is, and I came up with that solution is, so this is from yesterday. A nested prompt is, at least to me. So here's this is Microsoft Copilot and an LLM. And what I did was I asked it to create a prompt to make a cinematic picture of a cow in a field of puppies. And Copilot came up with this prompt. Serene cinematic scene of a single cow, blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't have been able to come up with such a detailed prompt. But generative AI provided me with it. And we still have 5 minutes left. Why don't we see what we get? So nested prompting for me, to me, that means I prompt generative AI for another prompt. That, to me, that's my definition of nested prompting. So I'm going to grab that prompt. I'm going to type it into Adobe Firefly. And I'm going to test, oops. One more time. Nope, not what I need. This is the prompt. And I'm going to hit generate. So there it is. So suddenly, I went from a prompt to make a cinematic picture of a cow in a field of puppies. Suddenly, I get this prompt and these 4 outputs. Pretty nice, if I may say so myself. So the rule of thumb is, the more detailed your prompt, the better, the more chance you have of really getting something that you're after, which in this case, it did work. They're actually quite, they're good pictures. I think, I like a lot about these pictures, and you can still analyze the prompt for, how detailed it is actually. The lighting is soft and dramatic. You can, of course, make edits to the prompt. You do not have to run with this specific one, but it is detailed enough that it gave me a set of pretty detailed pictures altogether. I hope that answered the question. So it is a technique that I only started using recently, but prompting for prompts. Okay. That said, I want to express my gratitude to everyone who decided to spend their Wednesday afternoon with me here and create some AI images with me. As I said, please avail yourselves of other Summer of AI offerings, including another generative AI workshop that I will be conducting tomorrow, same time, same place, 2 p.m. It will be on yet another University of Illinois Gen AI tool called Illinois.chat. That is a pretty robust tool. In a nutshell, it allows you to create your digital teaching assistant, digital TA. It won't replace your regular TAs, but it has some features that will, for instance, since it's an electronic tool, it is available for help 24/7. Okay, won't replace your human TA, but it will offer some things that it will expand your office hours or services, to pretty much any time of the day or night. It has a really useful tutoring function if you're interested in that. So it's capable of answering of offering help on homework assignments, but without giving actual answers to the problems. It will guide your students through the process of solving a problem, and I'll give examples of that tomorrow, without giving away the actual answer. So all that and more, if you're interested, that's tomorrow, 2 p.m. But there's a lot of other really, really fantastic and useful things. Some of the discussions that are and guest presenters that are on the calendar are quite amazing, and people at our university are doing some really fantastic things with generative AI. So please look at the calendar and come back and try to attend these sessions if you're interested and available. Yes.
We had a question online, is Illinois chat available to UIC people? And I should also expand, is it available to anyone outside the University of Illinois?
I don't believe so, but why don't you try it? So it's illinois.chat. And if you can sign in with your university credentials, you'll know if it is available to UIC or UIS folks. That would be an easy thing to check. Illinois,
Yeah.
I take that back. Not Illinois chat, UIUC.chat. Sorry, folks, UIUC.chat, and try signing in. If you're successful in signing in, that yes, it is available to you. If not, then I'm sorry to say it won't work. If there are no other questions, I thank you again for your presence, and I look forward to seeing you at other Summer of AI events. Thank you very much.